There's a texture pack for Terraria that reskins all the summons to be Pokemon. We got Gulpin, we got Mimikyu, we got Charizard, and we got Pidgey. I always wanted to play Pixelmon when I was younger, and even though this isn't quite as big a mod, I think it's a fun response for Terraria to have to Pixelmon. Check it out. I started by making a new character and naming him a perfect Pokemon Master name. I attempted to make him look as alike to the king as I could. I think I did a pretty good job. I named my world accordingly, and started off in a way that many players can relate to, destroying a nearby forest. You might notice that I spawned with the fledgling staff and a tiny little Pidgey nesting on my head. After collecting the wood we needed, my partner Pidgey and I decided to head into a cave. Hopefully we don't run into any Zubat. Thanks everyone, I'm here every alternating Sunday. We looted some chests to get some gear. After getting out of the cave, I traveled across the land, searching far and wide for a jungle. Eventually I found one, and the underground was just as jungly as ever. I went back because I needed to collect jungle spores and stingers so I could craft the Snapthorn. This is always a long process, so I'm gonna go back and get some housing built. Nothing crazy this time, but just something to keep us dry. After we finished the house, it was back to the jungle with our little Pidgey friend to get the rest of the materials we needed for the Snapthorn. While down there I found a hive. Maybe this is where Vespaquin lives. Oh, stop guys, I know. Please subscribe. After getting enough stuff for the whip, we teleported back home, crafted it, and tested it on some monsters. Now that we have that behind us, we needed to go to the snow biome to collect something else. The Flink's fur coat is the only pre-boss summoning armor piece. It gives us a little extra defense, but more importantly, a second Pokemon slot. They aren't too rare, but for some reason I couldn't find a single one. I wandered around for a while, but they didn't spawn. I even dug a second hole and didn't find any. So I loaded up an old world that I knew had spawned snowflakes in the past, but this one was a hard mode world, so the challenge would be in surviving the underground. I couldn't really hide, so I had to face it head on. So in the spirit of Pokemon, if I was strong I would survive, and I would keep my dream alive. So I died a couple of times, but eventually I did get the fur I needed. Now that I had the fur, I need a bunch of gold to craft the next set of items. After we got the gold, I crafted a sawmill, a loom, and a furnace, smelted all the gold, then crafted the Flink's fur coat, and the Flink's staff. I think the Flink's is an awesome summon, but unfortunately the person who created the texture pack didn't agree, and didn't give the Flink's a Pokemon retexture. After that disappointment, I decided to finish my house and add some more rooms. I headed toward the ocean to farm for our next summon. I built a Blood Moon farming structure that will help me a lot. Then I exploited journey mode to skip to our first Blood Moon. Eventually, the Blood Moon rose on Hyrule once again, and I started fishing. We got a Demon Eye fish pretty quick, but it didn't drop what I wanted. The second one was also empty, but the third one was a success. The Vampire Frog Staff, which I know for a fact is reskinned. We spawn him, and it's Mimikyu. He's the same as the regular Vampire Frog, but he looks a lot more aggressive this way. I fished a little more, but as it turned to morning, I didn't find anything else. I decided I was ready to take on Vespaquin. I was swinging my whip recklessly, and accidentally hit the larva before I was ready and had to fight him unexpectedly. So I panicked and switched to God mode. I only did it to prepare for the fight, so forget it even happened. I did fight him regularly, and Mimikyu did the work. When I defeated him, I didn't get enough beeswax, so I had to find another hive. And guess what? I did. This time I actually built an arena, complete with torches, started the fight, and again let Mimikyu take it. I went back to the house and crafted a bee staff and bee armor. Try and guess what the bee staff summons. Yep, it's Pedro. I think Combee would have been cooler, but Beedrill is more iconic, so I get it. We were pretty powerful at this point, so I decided to start the elevator. While mining, I got the slime is falling from the sky notification, so I headed back up to hopefully start the King Slime fight. I always have a lot of trouble with this fight early game, but this time we were already so prepared that it was pretty easy. I got the Slimy Saddle and Slime Hook. Both awesome items to have. Equipped the Slime Saddle for a ride, then went to the Corruption to start the Eater of Worlds fight. This fight is a joke for a summoner. The Snap Through burns through the Eater of Worlds so easily that it's not even funny. With the Shadow Scales, I went back home and crafted a Nightmare Pickaxe. Then I started another boss fight with the Eye of Cthulhu. I used my Slimy Saddle to kill him with style. We're fighting a lot of bosses right now, but after this we should be able to get some time to just mine. We started building the Skeletron arena. Pedro shredded through Skeletron pretty quick. We didn't get any drops from him, unfortunately, but after all that, we finally made it down to hell. Used an obsidian skin potion to get a bunch of hellstone. After I had enough, I left and went back home to craft the imp staff, the molten pickaxe, and most importantly, the obsidian armor, which I think makes me look like Riley from Iron Island. The imp staff is reskinned to be Charizard. Mimikyu, Pedro, Charizard, and I went down to the dungeon to collect bones. We needed them for a final upgrade to our gear. I also needed cobwebs, so I went way down to the mine. When I was done, I returned to craft the Spinal Tap, the strongest pre-hard mode whip. Now that I was as strong as I could be, it was time to go down to hell and start the final boss fight. I expertly weaved through all his lasers, defeated him pretty quick, and entered hard mode. I went again to try and get the firecracker whip that he has a chance of dropping, but I never got it. And finally, I bought the graduation set from the clother because I graduated from high school this week and I think it was meant to be.